Do you love someone? Have you ever cared? Do you miss someone? Have you ever shared? Do you need someone to always be there?
Hello again.
When you feel
I'm Dr. Hung Vu, and our show is America's Healthcare Crisis. The topic of discussion for our program tonight is teenage health issues. In reviewing the most recent publications on this subject, I have found out that the great majority of the health problems in the teenage group are due to either a psychosocial or a mental health issue. 70% of all deaths in this age group are due to either an accident, a homicide, or a suicide, which to a great extent are potentially preventable. Other problems are related to drug abuse, smoking habit, alcohol consumption, or problems that are related to sexual activities such as teenage pregnancies or sexually transmitted diseases. Only a fraction of the health problems in the teenage group are purely medical, such as skin diseases or orthopedic abnormalities. To help me with the discussion of this topic on our program tonight, I have with me two young individuals who have gained my respect by their personal achievements, their strong character, and their ability to cope with their difficulties with great strength and in a positive and constructive manner. And I'm very pleased to introduce them now. My first guest is Holly Lam. Hi, Holly.
Hello.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How are you feeling tonight?
Fine.
Holly is almost 16. She will be 16 this November, right? And she attends Hayward High School. She's a sophomore, and she would like to someday become a lawyer. Is that it?
Yes.
Good. And my second guest is Claro Azadon. Claro is working as a medical assistant at the Washington Clinic in Fremont. And Claro is 23, is that
right.
23? Okay. And Claro would like to be a physician assistant someday.
That's right.
Okay. Let me ask Holly first. You were born in Vietnam, right?
Correct.
And you came here when you were how old?
6 months old.
You were 6 months old.
Yes.
And you have a sister?
Yeah, my sister's 18 right now, and she's going to be attending Cal State Hayward.
I see. So she was really 2 when...
Yeah, she was
when you
2
came.
when we left Vietnam.
Yeah. And your mom has been working as a single parent for all these years, right?
Exactly.
I see. So how was it like to grow up with a hardworking mom like that?
It was hard because she was raising us by herself, so we didn't spend very much time with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just really our role model and our own parent. So she was both father and mother.
Oh, really? Uh-huh. Okay. So, Claro, how was it like, you were born here in
That's
the
right.
States? I see. And how was it like for you to be growing up in your family?
I'd say it'd be a unique experience. Basically, I'm a Navy brat. My dad retired out of the Navy after 20 years. And not like the classical Navy family where we'd globe hop per se. Me and my mother and my sister elected to stay home while my father would be out on his assignments. And so basically I grew up with my mother and my sister, and with my dad for 2 periods of time, but also with a whole slew of babysitters.
Mm-hmm.
That, since my mom was working full time and we were small, we've gone through a whole series of babysitters.
So both your parents work?
Yeah, they both work.
Okay. And you move around a lot?
No, we didn't move around. We stayed at the same place for 20 some odd years.
Oh, I see. Okay. In California?
In California.
Okay. I can imagine that this must be awfully difficult to be growing up with a mother who has to work obviously so hard, to provide for both of you without a father. What was the biggest difficulty that you have encountered during these years growing up in this country?
During school, when there was a lot of family activities we couldn't attend because my mom was working. And it was hard having a single parent and not having a father around. So me and my sister depended on each other a lot because we spent a lot of time in daycare.
I see. And how did you must miss your mom a lot when she was at work. I mean,
Yeah, sometimes I didn't think I knew my mom, and I would get mad at her sometimes.
So how is it going now?
It's fine now. Things are getting better. She's going to be able to spend more time with us. So
Okay. What does your mom do?
she's a beautician. She owns her own hair and nail salon.
I see. And when she came here, did she speak any English at all?
No, we were sponsored by American citizens, and we lived with them for a couple of years. And my mom went to school, and she went to work at J.C. Penney's, and from there she went her way up, and she got her own business.
I see. How was it like to when you could not spend time with her, like you say, the family activities is lacking? What do you do with your sister all this time when your mom is away from home?
Well, me and my sister would just spend time with our friends, our neighbors, or with each other, watch some TV, or just play games with each other.
How do you get along with your sister?
When we were little, we used to get along real well, but then now, since there's a little bit of an age difference, we don't get along that well.
Yeah. Because I am very interested in knowing how the teenagers spend time in a family and then in school. And of course, sometime when they spend them by themselves. So how about yourself? How was it like growing up in your family? You're Filipinos, right?
That's right. Growing up is very unique. Like I said, when my father would be away, we had babysitters, and instead of when my mom would take off for work, me and my sister see an opportunity to okay, let's let our hair down, because we grew up in a very strict environment where mother's orders were law, and you followed whatever she said to the T. But when the babysitter would come, basically we had the run of the house and the run of the neighborhood, and that was our opportunity to explore and to learn.
So a different set of rules and regulations when the babysitter was there.
That's right.
Yeah. You mentioned your mom is a role model. How can you describe it a little bit more? How would she be a role model for you?
Well, my mom's my role model because she's a strong person. She went through a whole lot for me and my sister. And I don't know anyone else that is as strong as her, who has a lot of, she's really proud of herself. And, she's proud of her children. And I just look up to her. I want to be like her when I'm older. I want to know that I can take care of my kids if something ever happened to my husband.
Yeah. You're very fortunate to have a good mother, because that's how you form your own identity, isn't it? How has school been? I mean, how did you like going to school here in the States? Of course, you have always been going to school here.
School is normal. I like going to school. It's fun. It's an experience. It's something that you have to go through life no matter what. And you meet a lot of different people.
Is there a role model in your school, like your teachers or your classmates? Somebody that you look up to, like you look up to your mom?
Well, I look up to some of my teachers because, sometimes the students don't listen to them, and they tried their hardest. And I can see that. They really try. And, they know what they're doing. So.
For you, you have started working very young, right? How old were you when you started working?
Actually, I started working right after I graduated from high school.
So how old were you? 18?
I was 17.
17. What was your first job?
I worked in retail for Miller's Outpost. First began on the sales floor, then worked my way up to cashier. Before I left, they gave me a pseudo position that was just created in loss prevention. Because at the time when I was also going to school, I also had started beginning an interest in law enforcement.
Law enforcement, I see. Now, starting working so early must have given you a very unique kind of exposure, because I believe in that. Actually, when I was going out in Vietnam, the culture was different. Only it's sort of a a mixed up situation, because only poor people have to work. So I mean, it's like for us, like it was sort of it's not a very something that we're proud of if we have to go to work. But in this country, it's totally different, and that's one of the things I learned about this country that I like very much. Let's talk a little bit more about your working experience. How do you like working where you are now as a medical assistant?
I like it in terms of working, not just also earning a paycheck, but working for me is also a learning experience in knowing how to deal with people, knowing how to accept certain amounts of responsibility, knowing how to pace yourself and how to advance yourself up, up the ladder. That's what the working experience has been for me so far.
Yeah. You enjoy working in the medical field?
Yes, I do very much.
What is that motivates you to enter medicine, and what are the rewards that you have received being in it so far?
Well, the satisfaction that when I encounter a patient, they look at me. Some patients seem uneasy because they look at me. Oh, he's a male. He looks kind of young. I'm really 23, but I look 17. But then when I could speak with them with medical terminology, speak with them with the medical terminology, show them a level of maturity that I establish with my patients, they come away surprised and almost relieved that they feel like I'm pretty sure that some of my patients feel that this whole new generation coming up, especially the sighted Generation X, is like, just getting as a total lost generation, and they see an individual like me, and then they say, well, maybe things aren't so bad.
Yeah. Actually, I'm very pleased that you come to my show today, because I would think that you probably, for the right or wrong reason, but of course there are sort of biases. You don't belong to the generation of lost souls.
No.
I mean, we're talking about when I heard that Mr. Kurt Cobain was the representative of your generation. I'm very concerned, because if most people look at him as a role model, I would be horrified.
Yeah.
Because I mean he's quite unhappy with himself. But obviously I have to admit that I have a great admiration for you, because when I was your age, I was nowhere near where you are now. You seem to be so together. You are very independent, not only financially for your age, but even emotionally, which is, I think, is quite remarkable. I really have to, commend you for that, and I'm glad you appear in this show, because to me, the big theme for my show, even though it may appear somewhat different from other talk shows, but I'm very big on role modeling. I would like to show another aspect of American life that is positive and strong and healthy, and not only people who whine and and.
Well, yeah, I should also commend you that you invited us here instead of inviting some third-rate expert who studies, people like ourselves, and then giving their viewpoint instead you come to us.
Yeah. Even for you, for the short time I have known you, I don't feel any gap of the generation gap at all. I think that you have enough maturity, to relate to me in an adult fashion. I'm very pleased with that. I really enjoy being with you. And having your company in many ways. And I feel very fortunate, to be able to do that. Now, you like music a lot, right? You listen to a lot of music.
Yes, a lot. I like music and arts.
What kind of music do you like?
I like high energy.
High energy? You
Yes.
like dancing?
Yes, I love dancing.
And at one time you were a cheerleader also?
Yes, I was cheerleading for Bret Hart Junior High.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what kind of arts do you do or do you like to do?
I like arts and crafts, ceramics,
Mm-hmm.
painting, and I love poetry.
Mm-hmm. Poetry, you write poetry also?
Yes.
That's great. Actually, you seem to have a lot of different interests. You know, I feel that if a young person has a lot of involvement in healthy activities like athletics, sports, or being artistic, creative, then he wouldn't get into trouble at all. Now, you must have friends who do not feel the same way you do about life in general. Is there any particular friend that you can think of that is really in trouble that you want to share with us so they can understand them a little bit more?
Yeah, I have friends who like to smoke weed, marijuana, and they go out all night, and they go from guy to guy and all that. And I don't see a point in that. I mean, I'll always be their friend, and we have different lifestyles, so.
You accept them for they are.
Yeah,
what
I
you're
accept
doing,
them.
Yeah. Now, I mean, how old are they when they start smoking or that?
Well, they started smoking when they were, pretty young. They started probably when they were 13 or
Yeah.
even 12.
You have never done that.
No.
You know, we're talking about peer pressure here all the time. You know, you must have some kind of pressure to do the same thing, to belong to the same group. How did you cope with that? How did you get away from it?
Well, some of my friends try to get me to smoke marijuana, but I don't like it. You know, I tell them, oh, I don't like it, and then they'll back off. If they're really my friends, they'll back off. And I've lost a couple of friends because of that.
Now, again, you know, I mean, we have I mean, I remember during the Reagan administration, the big motto is just say no, you know, and that's how you do. But there was a lot of almost like a ridicule about that alone, because people feel that there are a lot of people who feel that it is impossible to do something like that. How did you get it's a form of courage or strength to say no in such an comfortable way without feeling that you hurt other people's feeling or
Well, I just showed them that I can have fun without doing it. You know, and usually when they do that, we're at parties, and it's like you can have fun at a party without doing weed.
Yeah. Are there more people who like yourself, or more people like those people who smoke and do all sort of
Well, I think there's
casual
more
sex?
people who are smoking weed than there are who aren't.
Yeah. What makes you different from they are?
Nothing. They just want to have a good time, and that's how they have a good time.
But you have a good time too.
Yeah, but then they enjoy it. They're addicted to it.
Uh-huh.
They don't see having a good time without it.
Because it's important for us to know why they do it, why you're not doing it, you see, so we can know how to help them, you know. If you have something to tell them, you know, because obviously you have a good time also doing what you do, but more healthy and normal, I mean, to me, kind of activities like, music, and they have all sort of things that you can do to have fun, you know. And it seems like, people do know that getting into drugs, getting into promiscuity is going to have bad consequences. They do have a choice, but they, don't make the right choice, in my opinion. I'm sure that maybe their family is different. What do you think? What makes you different from them?
I don't know what makes me different from them. Maybe their family neglects them, and they don't have family support,
Sure.
and so they turn to drugs.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you are the way you are, though. Now, Clara, you have had some experience counseling even teenage people who are involved in gang activity and so forth.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us something about that.
Yeah, basically, in the period between 1988 and 1990, Milpitas, where I live, started experiencing a swell in gang activity. And within my circle of friends, we were classified almost as a gang, I think, by the police. And at that time, the police department developed a unit called CSU, the Crime Suppression Unit, and one of the officers started coming down and started visiting us. And at that time, I started developing a rapport with that officer. And we finally got it through that we weren't actually a gang, but my circle of friends always seemed to get into trouble with other gangs from surrounding areas, from Santa Clara, from San Jose, from Fremont, from Union City, and so forth. Actually, we weren't even the perpetrators in any of the incidents. We were actually the victims. So, you know, it came to be that the officer got to know me, I got to know him, and, you know, furthered my interest in law enforcement.
And actually, my reading and my understanding of this situation is that a lot of people who get into gang activity and do all sort of violent things is because they want to earn what they call respect.
Yeah.
Okay, respect is a big word for all those people. You know, they feel that if they can swagger around with a gun or something, they are strong and they are cool and all that. How did they get the idea from you?
Well, the gun itself is a very big nonverbal tool. A gun pointed to your face commands automatic respect. The person at the other end of the barrel is susceptible to following the orders of the person on the other end.
But that's out of fear, though.
Yeah, that's out of fear.
Not the true respect
No, basically you said it yourself. It's respect generated out of fear.
Because to me, there's another way of getting respect. I mean, to me, to sit here and being responsible, being straightforward and being good commands respect more than having a gun. As far as I'm concerned, you know, that's the civilized way of doing it. I mean, otherwise, you know, the whole world would be Rambo, you know, kind of movie scene, you know. What do you think? I mean, I have read a lot about the influence of music and, you know, movies and TVs in terms of creating violence. Do you think that's part of the culture in the teenage group also? That, I mean, what they watch on TV, on movie, we incite their behavior as being violent?
No, I think it's the exact opposite almost. I think that entertainment now is mimicking real life almost. If you notice the car chases on the movies, some of those car chases almost resemble O.J. being pursued by the police. That's what seems almost dangerous right now. That instead of life following art, it's art following life.
Why are we so messed up?
Basically, I think it's the choices we make. You either have the choice to succeed, or you follow the choices to fail. And it seems like almost the majority of people that you speak with, they get entrapped in this mode of self-destruction. And from there, it's all downhill.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm glad that there are people like yourself, because obviously it must be even harder for you to choose this path, because it's a lonely path, isn't it? Because more people doing the other things, you know. But again, you know, I came from Vietnam, and I have a different appreciation of what we have here, obviously, you know, but I just feel that it's so unfortunate, you know, that so many people, for one reason or another, you know, choose the wrong path. And that's exactly the reason why I would like to produce shows like this, because I would, you know, I mean, it's our contribution in our small ways to I don't know, I guess to improve the society in general, because you know, I would think that, you know, if there are more shows that features people who succeed, then, you know, then people would try to learn from it, you know. But again, you know, I can't say too much about, you know, why and how other people do things. But again, you know, I guess one of the ideas I want to share with you here is that we are doing what I have learned from other people, and that is like a garden. You know, weeds would grow all over the place if there's no gardener to plant flowers. You know, the little things we do here, to me, are very rewarding for me, because to see you here, you know, gives me the strength and the courage to go on and work hard and try to do something about, you know, all the bad things that are happening around us. And I certainly, you know, wish both of you a lot of luck. And, you know, I mean, you look like, you know, it's always nice to have luck, but luck is what, you know, you create for yourself too, you know, by hard work and, you know, by being strong. And I have a lot of respect and admiration for both of you. And I hope that, you know, you continue to hang on and, you know, do what you feel is right, because sometimes it's hard to do what is right, you know. But again, you reap the rewards in a much more wonderful way. Why do you want to be a lawyer?
Because so a lot of people don't think that, you know, justice is fair, and I want to help them, you know. I want to show that justice can be fair.
Yeah. Do you want to be a doctor or
Physician's assistant.
assistant?
It's quite a change from my original interest in law enforcement back to from laws and penal codes and arrest techniques, basically back into the sciences.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit of a change, but in most part, I find that the medical realm and the law enforcement realm are almost two and the same, because basically you're working with another individual and trying to solve a problem. And basically the advancement or the working towards the solution of the problem is based on the relationship you develop with another person.
Yeah. What do you do for fun? You look so serious. You must be working most of the time, but you must have a hobby.
Yeah, well, right now I'm getting back into an old hobby I used to get into when I was in junior high. Now I'm getting back into collecting comic books.
Oh, really? You draw too, right?
I draw too.
Oh, I see. You're actually an artist too. It's very interesting. You know, both of you have, you know, things that you enjoy doing, and that's very, very fortunate, because that, you know, that must be taking a fair amount of your time, so that you stay away from the boredom and the, you know, the get into trouble like other youngsters. I just hope that people who watch this show will see that there's a different way of living and doing things, you know. Anyway, we are running out of time. Half an hour seems to pass by so quickly. I appreciate you being here tonight, and I'm very happy with this kind of production. And actually, I have a secret to reveal here. Actually, Holly is no stranger to me. Holly is my stepdaughter. Hi.
Hi.
I'm very proud of her, and I feel that it's the appropriate thing to feature here tonight. And you want to say hi to your mom and Sue-Ann?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Sue-Ann.
You like this? You like being here tonight?
Yeah, it's fun. It's different.
Okay, thank you, Claro, also to be
You're welcome.
for being here. And this is America's healthcare crisis. I have watched two young individuals talking about teenage health issues, mostly psychosocial and mental health problems. I'm Dr. Hung Vu. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Do you love someone? Have you ever cared? Do you miss someone? Have you ever shared? Do you need someone to always be there when you feel lonesome and deep in despair? Do you need someone to dry up your tears? Do you need someone to always be near?